Evan Cade knelt in the dim freight corridor and wrapped his heavy work coat around the shivering alien girl. Her iridescent skin gleamed under flickering overhead lights, scales rippling with cold or fear. He couldn't tell which. She clutched the coarse fabric to her chest, wide violet eyes locked on his. "Stay down," Evan whispered. "They're coming," Boots echoed from the junction ahead. Armed station security rounded the corner, stun batons drawn, visors scanning. The lead guard barked into his comm. "Target sighted. Female juvenile, unregistered species. Detained for processing." Evan stepped in front of the girl, blocking their view. His heart hammered, but he kept his voice steady. "Evening, officers. Just helping a lost kid. Station reg says civilians assist minors first." The lead guard shoved his baton forward. "Step aside, salvage rat. She's priority custody." Evan didn't budge. His hand shot out, grabbing the girl's thin wrist. "Come on, kid." He yanked her behind him and bolted for the nearest maintenance hatch. "Stop!" The guards charged. Evan slammed his shoulder into the hatch panel. It groaned, but held. The girl stumbled after him, coat flapping. He spun, scooped her up like a crate of parts, and kicked the release lever. The hatch popped. Evan dove inside, dragging her into the narrow crawl space. Alarms whooped behind them. "Seal it," he growled. She fumbled at the inner latch, claws scraping metal. Too slow. Evan twisted, slamming his palm on the emergency override. The hatch clanged shut. Magnetic locks engaged with a thud. Guards pounded outside. "Open up, that's an order." Evan ignored them. He pulled the girl deeper into the conduit, vents humming around them. Dust motes danced in the red emergency strips. She trembled against his side breath, ragged. "Quiet now," he said. "They'll pass." Muffled voices faded as the guards moved on. Evan exhaled. First hurdle cleared. He scanned the crawl space. Junction box ahead. Power relays blinking. Goal. Lose their trail. Fast. Stay put. He crawled forward, toolkit clinking at his belt. The girl huddled, peeking after him. Evan pried open the access panel with a multi-tool. Wires sparked. Station grid was a mess, rerouted for some admin lockdown. He clicked in his scanner. Power surge here masks movement. Fingers danced over circuits. He hotwired a bypass, rerouting auxiliary juice through dummy vents. Lights flickered station-wide. Alarms glitched, then silenced. Their heat signatures vanished from the grid. Evan snapped the panel shut. Trail sealed. 5 minutes tops before they reboot. He crawled back. The girl stared, scales paling to silver. "You fixed it. Like magic." "No magic," Evan shrugged. "Salvage tech trick. Humans improvise." She tilted her head, frills flaring slightly. "Humans? From the core worlds?" "Something like that." He eyed her. Hiding in freight bays wasn't standard lost kid behavior. Boots clumped overhead again. Different rhythm, more organized. Evan pressed a finger to his lips. She nodded, curling smaller under his coat. Vents rattled. A probe snaked past their hiding spot, sensors whirring. Evan held his breath. The probe paused, then retracted. "Clear." He waited another beat. "We move. Service cores 2 levels down." "My bunk's there. Safe." She hesitated, claws digging into the coat. "Why help? You don't know me." Evan met her gaze. "Kid shaking in my corridor." "That's enough. Practical as welding a hull breach." She uncurled slightly. Trust flickered in those violet eyes. They crawled on, elbows scraping durasteel. Evan led mapping vents from memory. Station layouts were his job. Patching leaks, hauling scrap. A grate loomed ahead. He kicked it loose. They tumbled into a dim service bay, crates stacked high. Evan bolted the grate behind them. Name can't call you kid forever. She straightened, brushing dust from scales. Frills smoothed. Lysa, just Lysa. False name. He caught the hesitation, the too quick blink. Evan didn't push. Evan Cade. Salvage hand. Hungry? She nodded, rubbing her midsection. He rummaged a locker, tossed her a ration bar. Protein gel. Tastes like paste, but fills. Lysa nibbled, eyes widening. Sweet. Your food energizes. Human staple. He chewed his own. Now talk. Who wants you bad enough for full security sweep? Lysa froze. No one. Got separated from my ship. Lie. Evan leaned in. Security doesn't chase strays with stun squads. Spill, or I walk you to intake myself. Her frills quivered. Please, they'll hurt me. Who's they? She glanced at the door. Bad people. On the station. Hunting runaways. Evan grunted. Political stink clung to her. Fine clothes under the grime. Accent too polished. Overhead speakers crackled. Attention. All personnel. Report. Unregistered. Alien. Juvenile. Reward for tips. Director Juno. Authorizing. Director Juno. Station overlord. Bureaucrat with teeth. Evan's jaw tightened. Juno's hires shook down salvage crews for fees. This ran deeper. Directors involved. He stood. We hole up in my bunk. Figure next move. Lysa clutched the ration wrapper. You believe me? Believing's extra. Protecting's the job. He cracked the bay door, checked the corridor. Empty. Move. They slipped out, hugging shadows. Evan's bunk pod was 2 decks down, tucked in salvage warrens. Elevator hummed. He punched overrides. His tech pass still worked. Lysa pressed against the wall, scanning readouts. Fancy. Her claws tapped a panel. Your machines respond to touch thought. Bio-interfaces. Evan raised a brow. Nah. Keys and codes. Reliable. Doors dinged open. They darted through maintenance levels, dodging drone sweeps. A shadow shifted ahead. 2 thugs in unmarked vac suits, scanning with handhelds. Juno's muscle. Evan grabbed Lysa, shoved her into a side vent. In! She scrambled. He followed, sealing the grate. Thugs paused outside, detectors beeping. Signals here, one growled. Evan powered down his toolkit. No emissions. They waited. Thugs moved on. Close, Lysa whispered. Getting closer. Evan pried the grate. Clear. His bunk pod squatted at tunnel's end. Tiny, cluttered with parts. He thumbed the lock. Door hissed open. Inside, bunk, fabricator, half-eaten rations. Safe-ish. He locked it down, patched the grid feed. Juno's got reach, but salvage decks are mine. Lysa perched on the bunk, coat draped like a cape. Thank you, Evan Cade. He waved it off. Practicality. Now, real talk. You're no duck rat. Royal. Spy. Her eyes darted. I must reach my mother before they do. Who's she? Lysa bit her lip. Important. On Val Prime. Val Prime. Outer Rim Monarchy. Queen Saren's turf. Trade powerhouse. Evan whistled low. Royal runaway. Explains the heat. Not runaway. Lysa's frills flared defiance. Escaped. Enemies trapped my shuttle. Planted trackers. Conspiracy. Pieces clicked. Destabilized the queen by her kid. Why you? He asked. Proof. She tapped a hidden neck lobe. Data crystal. Exposes traitors in her court. Evan nodded. Handled worse cargo. We get you off station. Shuttle bay's locked, but I know vents to auxiliary pads. A chime hit his comm. Incoming hail station-wide. He patched it through. Audio only. Salvage tech Cade. Smooth voice. Director Juno. Report to admin. We have a Evan. Killed the audio feed mid-sentence. We have a missing VIP. Juno purred. Your cooperation. Lysa shivered harder. Frills tucked tight against her neck. Teeth chattered. Blue skin paled to gray. Evan eyed her. Hypothermia from the vents. No time for admin games. On my way, he muttered into the comm. Then yanked the power cell. Dead. Stay put. He cracked the pod door. Salvage deck hummed. Grinders whirring, lifts groaning. Med kiosk squatted 10 meters down the tunnel, jury-rigged for hull breaches. He sprinted, thumbed the panel. Locked. Evan wedged his multi-tool into the seam. Sparks flew. Lock popped. Inside, bandages, stimpaks, emergency foil. He grabbed 2 chem heaters, fist-sized packs that glowed on activation, and a roll of silvered mylar foil, station standard for vacuum exposure. Footsteps echoed. Doc Grunt rounded the corner. Evan palmed the goods. Overtime stock? Grunt squinted. Director's orders. Evan flashed his salvage badge. Grunt shrugged, moved on. Back in the pod. Evan slapped the heaters active. They warmed in seconds. He tore the foil, wrapped Lysa from shoulders to knees, tucked heaters under her arms. She clutched the edges. Warmth, like sun moss, standard kit. He crouched eye level. Her shakes raveled the bunk frame. One ground rule. You follow my lead. No questions. No moves without signal. Lysa nodded, frills quivering. Try. Not enough. Evan gripped her gaze. Breathe with me. In slow. Hold. Out. He inhaled deep. Chest rising. Held. Exhaled. Steady. Her eyes locked on his. In. Hold. Out. Shakes eased on the 3rd cycle. Color returned to her cheeks. Good. Evan stood. Juno's locking shuttle bays. We go auxiliary pads, cargo lifts, blind routes. I know a worker who owes me. He patched a shadow channel on his comm. Rico. Cade. Need a favor. Static crackled. Evan, thought you were off shift. Blind route to pad 7. Cargo lifts. Only. No logs. Rico snorted. Juno's goons crawling vents. 100 screds. 2. Evan transferred the chip code. Funds drained from his salvage slush. Done. Lift free. 5 minutes. Override code. Breaker. 9. Evan pocketed the comm. Gear up. We move. Lysa shed the foil. Pulled on her oversized coat. Stood straighter. You bargain like Vol trader. Station life. He checked the door scan. Clear. Frills in. Act casual. They slipped into the tunnel. Pipes hissed steam. Evan led, multi-tool, ready. Lysa matched his stride, silent now. Lift free loomed, massive freight hauler, doors ajar. Rico waved from the control booth, burly arms crossed. Your ghost ride? No questions. Evan nodded. Slid a ration bar his way. Extra. Rico pocketed it. Clear to pad 7. Watch for patrols. Doors ground shut. Lift dropped. Gears whining. Lysa leaned against the wall, eyes scanning panels. Evan pulled up a station map on his wrist pad. Pads linked to smuggler shuttles. Your mom's ride waits? Marshal Toven, Lysa whispered. Loyalist. He signals when safe. Ping hit Evan's comm. Incoming hail encrypted admin band. Evan thumbed accept. Screen lit. Juno's face. Polished suit. Crisp. Cade. You ignored my summons. Grid glitch. Evan angled the cam away from Lysa. Lies waste time. Juno leaned in. Hand over the girl. Rewards generous. Evan's thumb hovered on kill. Too slow. Lysa darted forward, snatched the comm from his grip. Her fingers flew. Interface shifted. Vol script overlay. She tapped a sequence. Ping deleted. Log scrubbed. Comm rebooted. Blank. Juno's image froze. Then cut. Evan stared. How? Lysa handed it back. Frill's comm. Your tech sings simple. Delete packet. Flush cache. Like pulling a weed. He blinked. Station comms baffled engineers. She parsed it in seconds. Alien neural net? Royal education? You just saved our asses. Her eyes widened at his tone. You breathe for me. I delete for you. Lift jolted. Doors parted to pad 7's gloom. Shuttles hulked in shadows, scratched hulls, no transponders. Evan scanned. Signal your marshal. Lysa tapped her neck lobe. Crystal pulsed. Soft chime echoed back. Footsteps pounded from the far bulkhead. 2 figures. Armored goons, stun batons crackling. Juno's muscle. Run! Evan shoved Lysa behind a crate stack. He yanked a loose conduit pipe. Improvised club. Goon, one lunged. Evan sidestepped. Cracked the pipe across knee joints. Goon crumpled. Second swung baton. Evan ducked, rammed shoulder into gut. Air hoofed out, baton clattered. Lysa crouched low, pulled a deck panel. Wires sparked. She twisted too. Emergency klaxon blared station-wide. Lights flashed, distant shouts. Evan zip-tied the goons with foil strips. Smart. Bias time. Shuttle ramp. Dropped. Tall figure emerged. Marshal Tovin Greal, Val crest on chest plate. Disciplined stance. Plasma rifle slung. Lysa. He strode forward. Eyes sweeping threats. She bolted to him. Marshal. Proof secure. Tovin's gaze hit Evan. Human. You shielded her. Evan shrugged, pipe still in hand. Job needed doing. Tovin clasped his shoulder. Firm. Val grip. Queen Saren owes you. Debt eternal. Evan nodded. Get her out. Juno's closing. Lysa turned back. Evan Cade. Your breath steadies worlds. Shuttle engines hummed. Ramp lifted. Evan backed into shadows as it boosted away. Comm buzzed. Rico, pads hot. Move, he grinned. Royals paid debts. Time to collect. But Juno's voice cut through open channel. God, you picked the wrong cargo. Evan killed it. Salvage decks waited. One repair at a time. Ping returned. New source. Queen's sigil. Human. Name your price. He paused. Practicality first. Then payback. Dock alarms wailed louder. Evan slipped into vents. Game on. Lysa watched from the shuttle viewport as the station shrank. Evan's face lingered. Steady breather. Pipe wielder. Humans fixed what broke. Even conspiracies. Tovin knelt beside her. He understood the crystal's weight. More. Lysa touched her neck globe. He protected without throne or crown. Queen Saren's hologram, flickered arm, calculating eyes softened. Then we trade pride for such allies. Fetch him, Marshal. Val Prime needs salvage techs. Evan dropped into his pod. Locked down. Fabricator word. New multi-tool forming. Comlit. Incoming bounty. Juno's face again. 10,000 for the girl. Dead or live. Evan deleted it. Lysa's trick. Perfect. He leaned back. One rule. Protect what's in front. Galaxy just got bigger. Footsteps outside. Heavy. Evan gripped the pipe. Door rattled. He smiled. Let them come. Marshal Grail locked down the station grid. Sirens pierced the shuttle's hull. Outbound traffic froze. Docking clamps snapped shut on a dozen vessels. Lysa flinched beside him. Father's loyalists? More. Grail pulled up the scan overlay. The girl's trace glowed, a faint biosig from her necklobe crystal, looping through vents to salvage bays, maintenance sectors. Her path ended there. Conspirators followed her. Now they can't leave. Queen Saren's hologram nodded. Isolate them. Juno runs that station. Squeeze him. Grail patched into station security. Directed Juno. Royal override. Full grid access. Now. Juno's face appeared, polished suit crisp under office lights. Marshal Grail. The princess escaped on an unscheduled shuttle. My teams pursued. Lockdown unnecessary. Unnecessary. Grail leaned forward. His voice dropped steel. Her path ends in maintenance. Your cameras missed it. Grant access, or I trigger a Val audit. Every credit traced. Your backers exposed. Juno's eyes flickered. Of course. Loyalty first. Data streams flooded Grail's console. Curated feeds only. Public concourse swarmed with shoppers. A blurry figure darted vents, but timestamps jumped. No salvage bays. See. She bolted for the concourse. Crowds there. My guards sweep it now. Grail scrubbed the feeds. Gaps everywhere. Liar. Send raw archives. Processing. Juno cut the link. Grail growled. He pinged his loyalists. 6 Val enforcers embedded on station. Positions. Block every exit. Maintenance sectors priority. Bounty hunters inbound. Lethal force authorized. Affirmatives pinged back. Clamps held. No ships budged. Lysa gripped her seat. Evan stayed. Juno hunts him now. Human salvage tech. Grail marked the pod cluster. Practical. Shields runaways like faulty wiring. We'll extract him. The Queen's hologram sharpened. Price him high. Pride bends for competence. Evan gripped the pipe tighter. Door rattled again. Heavy boots scraped outside his pod. Lockdown klaxons wailed through the bulkhead. Come out, Cade! A gravel voice boomed. Juno's muscle. Girl's worth 10 grand. Hand her over. Evan smirked. Lysa was light years gone. Shuttle clear. His multi-tool word in the fabricator half-formed. Not ready. He scanned his pod schematics. Air vents linked to main salvage deck. Tight fit. Practical. Boot slammed the door. Hinges groaned. Evan kicked the panel loose. Sparks flew. He dropped into the crawl space, pipe ready. Heat vents hummed. Sweat beaded his brow. Voices echoed. 2 hunters, armored, stun batons crackling. Scanner says biosig here. Girl's crystal. Or the human. Juno wants both. Evan crawled forward. Great ahead. He wedged the pipe. Twisted. Metal screeched. Grate popped free. He tumbled into the salvage bay. Tool racks loomed. Fabricator pinged. Multi-tool done. He snatched it. Plasma cutter, grapple hook, EMP pulse. All in one. Footsteps thundered from the pod hatch. Hunters burst out. Scanners sweeping. Evan melted into shadows behind a scrap hauler. Heart steady. One repair at a time. Director Juno steepled his fingers. Lockdown hummed through his office walls. Grail's doing. Amateur. He tapped his private comm. Hunters in position. Salvage pod breached. Human inside. No girl. Kill him. Message to meddlers. Juno smiled wider. The princess slit his net, but her path lit Evan's location. Bounty doubled. 20 grand. Dead humans told no tales. Grid map flickered. Grail's loyalists sealed exits. No matter. His own crew manned half the checkpoints, bribe deep. Juno cued a decoy feed. Fake biosig pulsing in the public concourse. Grail would chase ghosts. Director. His aide buzzed. Royal audit flagged. Vow auditors inbound. Let them dig. Juno leaned back. The girl's escape destabilized Saren. Council whispers grew. One dead human sealed it. Throne cracked. Grail's console beeped. Loyalist report. Maintenance sweeps clear. Concourse ping hot moving. Lysa tensed. Trap. Grail overrode. Ignore concourse. Salvage bays. Human pod. K-17. Protect him. Copy. Enforcer icon shifted. A new ping hit. Evan's commsig spoofed through vents. Queen's channel open. Marshal. Trice set. Shuttle rerouting for pickup. Grail blinked. The human patched in. Audacious. Evan vaulted a conveyor belt. First hunter rounded the hauler. Armored bulk. Visor down. Scanner beeped. Evan fired the grapple. Hook sank into chest plate. He yanked. Hunter stumbled forward. Pipe cracked helmet. Visor shattered. Hunter crumpled. Second charged. Baton sparking. Evan rolled. Plasma cutter sliced air. Severed the baton. Sparks exploded. Hunter swung fists. Evan ducked. Countered with multi-tool pommel. Jaw cracked. Down. He zip-tied them to rails. Scanned pockets. Juno's transponders. Bounty hunters confirmed. Comm buzzed. Queen sigil. Evan Cade. Shuttle returns. Board with us. He huffed. Prize first. Juno's head. Laughter echoed. Lysa? Practical. Name it. Alarm shifted. Footsteps lighter. Grail's loyalists. Evan stepped out. Pipe loose. Here. The lead enforcer halted. Rifle low. Royal escort. Impressive work, human. Evan nodded. No boasts. Just fixed the problem. Juno's office door hissed. Aid burst in. Hunters down. Grail's team at salvage. Human alive. Linked to Queen. Juno's smile vanished. He smashed the comm. Grid map showed loyalists converging. His checkpoints flipped. Bribes burned. Audit klaxons joined lockdown. Val Seal stamped his files. Evacuate me! Juno grabbed a secure pad. Backers would cut losses. But Saren's throne held for now. Grail watched the shuttle dock feed. Evan boarded, unflinching beside Lysa. Nikobe pulsed. Trust sealed. Conspiracy exposed, the Queen said. Human allies rewrite rules. Grail smiled faintly. Small acts toppled games. Evan settled in the shuttle. Lysa met his eyes. You breathed steady. Fixed us. He shrugged. One vent at a time. Dock clamps released. Station shrank. Juno's lights flickered. Power audit live. Evan's multi-tool hummed. Galaxy waited. Repairs endless. Evan's plasma cutter sliced through the cooler tunnel wall with a hiss. Sparks danced in the dim emergency glow. Lysa huddled behind him, her alien skin shimmering faintly under the thin cloak he'd scavenged. Frost crunched under his boots. The station's outer vents had iced over from a ruptured line, perfect for hiding, deadly for crossing. Stay low, he muttered. He kicked the panel free. Cold air rushed in, biting like needles. Lysa shivered, her four-fingered hands clutching his arm. Nikobe Vines pulsed on her throat, a Vol trait he'd clocked from station hollows. Royal blood didn't matter. She was a kid in trouble. He scanned the grate ahead, a meter wide, slick with rime. Below, coolant pipes thrummed, ready to flash freeze anything that slipped. Footsteps echoed from the main conduit. Juno's hunters closing fast. Transponder pings from their gear lit his scanner. Evan slung his multi-tool belt tighter. On my back. Now. Lysa hesitated, eyes wide, golden slits dilating in the chill. Then she climbed, light as a drone. Her weight settled even. He gripped the grate's edge, muscles coiling from years hauling salvage crates, one hand over the other. Boots scraped ice. A crack split the silence. Grate buckled under the shift. Hold, he grunted. Lysa buried her face in his shoulder. He swung his legs across, caught her, clamped between teeth. The far edge loomed. He lunged. Fingers hooked frozen metal. Grate groaned, tilted. Ice shards rained into the abyss. Evan hauled up. Lysa slid, caught his collar. He pivoted, tossed her onto solid decking. Rolled after, breath fogged. Safe for seconds. She stared, Nikobe Vines glowing brighter. Human strength. No exosuit. Adrenaline, he said. No time for chat. He yanked her up, dragged her into a service alcove. Hatches sealed behind. Dark now, save his tools glow. Alarms wailed distant. Juno's lockdown. Evan patched his scanner to the wall panel. Grid showed hunters fanning out, 6, armed with stunners and nets. Concourse ahead swarmed with checkpoints. Decoy, he said. Spotted a scrap drone in the corner. Salvage junk. Propellers bent. He pried its chassis, rerouted power from his belt battery. Fingers flew, jury-rigged thrusters, spoofed transponder with Juno's stolen sigil. Painted it with her cloak fibers for scent trace. Lysa watched, crouched close. Forced proximity in the tight space. Her breath warm against his neck. alien scent like ozone and spice. You improvise like a tech-cast master, station hand trick. He synced it to his comm. Drone word alive. Go loud. He launched it down a vent toward the concourse. Fake heat sig. Vocal mimic from her earlier whispers. Help, this way. It buzzed out, drawing pings. Scanner lit, hunters diverted. 3 peeled off, boots thumping toward the noise. Evan exhaled. Window open. Move. They crawled deeper. Lysa matching his pace. Vent narrowed. Her vines brushed his wrist. Trust signal? He ignored the tingle. Focus. Exit hatch. 50 meters. Hatch cycled. They spilled into a dim cargo bay. Stacks of crates towered, shadows pooling. Evan barred the hatch, wedged his strut. Lysa slumped against a bulkhead. Hood slipping. In the faint glow of a flickering panel, she flashed her palm. A royal seal glowed, etched crystal, Vol throne mark. Iridescent, unmistakable. Lysa's eyes hardened. I am Lysara Vol, heir to Queen Saren. You will surrender me to Marshal Tovan Grail. His beacon approaches. Evan froze, multi-tool mid-scan. Royal runaway, explains the hunters. But surrender? Grail was station security loyalist, sure. But Juno pulled his strings half the time. No, Evan said. Lysa blinked. Seal pulsed brighter. This is a royal decree. Obey, human. My mother's forces converge. He pocketed the tool, stepped closer, blocking her path to the hatch. Decree or not, you're hunted. Grail's beacon could be spoofed. Explain who wants you dead. Full story. Or we sit. Her vines dimmed, shock rippling her skin. Royals didn't get refused. You defy a Val heir? Practicality first. He leaned on a crate, eyes level. I fixed your vent breach, carried you over ice that'd freeze a Zelkin solid. Decoy bought us time. Now pay in truth. Lysa glanced at the sealed hatch. Distant shouts filtered through. Decoy failing. She straightened, voice dropping. Conspirators. Director Juno leads them. They strand me here to force Mother's hand. Destabilize the throne. If I vanish, rivals claim accident. Civil war ignites. Evan nodded, slow. Juno. Station boss, always cutting corners on repairs. Bribes to core, whispers of coups. Proof? She tapped her wrist cuff. Hollow flickered. Encrypted missives. Juno's sigil on hunter contracts. Intercepted. Grail hunts true, but Juno's moles slow him. Scanner pinged. Grail's beacon. Authentic Val code. Close, but hunters flanked it. Trap. Smart, Evan said. Admiration edged his tone. Kid thought fast. But surrenders off. We link direct to your queen. Lysa's vines flared. Trust blooming. You bargain with royalty. Fix the leak. He pulled wiring from a crate, hot-linked his comm to hers. Signal boosted. Queen's sigil bloomed on his screen. Voice crackled. Evan Cade. Status. Girl safe. Hunters inbound. Juno's play. Pause. Then, shuttle dispatches. Price your aid. Juno's head, he said flat. Laughter. Lysa's echo. Practical. Name more. Alarms shifted pitch. Footsteps neared. Lighter tread. Grail's team. Bevan gripped his pipe. Stepped into light. Here. The lead enforcer halted, rifle dipping. Val crest gleamed. Royal escort secured. Impressive. Human. Ice grate intact. Patched. Evan nodded. No flex. Lysa emerged. Seal. Proud. Enforcers formed up. Stunners hot. Juno's office erupted. Aides slammed in. Hunters neutralized. Grails at salvage bay. Humans with the air. Queen's line direct. Juno's polished face cracked. He crushed the calm. Grid flipped. Loyalists overran checkpoints. Bribes voided. Vol audit seals stamped his files red. Evacuate, he snarled. Grabbed secure pad. Backers disavowed. Saren's throne. Stabilized. For now. Evan boarded the shuttle. Lysa at his side. Nicobe Vines pulsed steady. Bond sealed. Grael saluted from the dock. Conspiracy cracked. Human ingenuity shifts wars. Evan shrugged. Settled in Excel seat. Lysa met his gaze. You breathe steady. Fixed us like scrap. One fix at a time. Duck released. Station receded. Juno's bays flickered. Audit. Live. Multi-tool hummed in his pocket. Galaxy turned. More brakes waited, but Evans spotted a shadow on scan. Trailing drone. Juno's last ping. He keyed the cutter. Hold tight. Lysa gripped his arm. Vines glowed. Ready. Evan cut the first panel. Sparks flew anew. Chase wasn't over. Alarms screamed through the vents. Red strobes pulsed in the salvage bay. Biohazard alert, Sector 7. Lethal containment authorized. All units converge. Evan yanked Lysa behind a coolant stack. Her vines quivered against his arm, glowing faint blue. Hunters closed fast. Heavy boots echoed off bulkheads. Pipe wrench ready in his fist. Station-wide, he muttered. Juno's playing dirty. Lysa clutched her satchel. They hunt me. Mother warned. Quiet, we ghost. Evan scanned the bay. Service hatch low, unguarded. He pried it with the wrench. Sparks bit his glove. Lysa slipped in first, slim frame vanishing into ducts. He followed. Crawl space reeked of ozone. Distant shouts. Thermal ping! Bay 12! Blind run to admin core. Evan tapped his multi-tool to her wrist comm. Logs first. Map the dead zones. Ducts twisted. Lysa breathed steady. Vines brushing his back. Trust locked in. They dropped into a service office. Unlocked. Lights dim. Console hummed. Evan jacked in. Fingers flew over keys. Maintenance logs spilled. Power sinks. Camera blanks. Forgotten vents. He traced blind zones. Rat maze under Juno's grip. Here. He marked a path to outer docks. Grail's loyalists dockside. We threaded. Sirens wailed closer. Lysa peered at the screen. Hunters vectoring. Your fix. Paperwork. Evan pulled deeper. Coded bulletin flashed. Priority ping to MER squads. Containment override. Air target. Lethal. His jaw tightened. Traced the relay. Bounced through proxies. Landed on Juno's private line. Director's seal stamped it. Bastard. Lysa gasped. Vines flared. Proof. Mother needs. Got it. Evan ripped the data packet. Encrypted burst ready. Open channel blinked. Royal freak. Unjammed. He keyed it. Marshal Grail. Cade. Salvage tech. Airs secure. Blind Zone Alpha 7. Trade. Your pickup for Juno's bulletin. Biohazard lie. His relay. Static crackled. Footsteps thundered outside the door. Lysa froze. Grail's voice cut through. Human? Verified packet. Evan beamed it. Sent. Lethal off. On his mark. Girls no hazard. Pause. Confirmed. Treason trail. Hold 5. My team's breaching your vector. Door rattled. Lock sparked. Evan's tool fried it. Merc burst in. Stunners hot. Target acquired. Evan shoved Lysa into the vent. Go! He swung the wrench. Caught the lead Merc's knee. Crack. Man dropped. Second Merc fired. Stun bolt grazed Evan's shoulder. Numb fire. He rolled. Grabbed a loose panel. Shielded. Lysa vanished ahead. Flush 'em! Merc yelled into comm. Evan countered. Multi-tool arced power from the console. Surge hit the Mercs. Convulsions. Down. Smoke curled. He crawled after Lysa. Ducts narrowed. Her vines lit the way, pulsing rhythm. You trace him. Fight with data. Fixes like leaks. Evan grunted. Numb arm dragged. Blind zone map guided. Left at fusion core. Dropped to sub-level. Alarms peaked. Biohazard breach. Lockdown. They spilled into a power sink chamber. Dark, humming vest. Grail's voice buzzed Evan's tool. 2 mics. Hold ice grate. Evan patched a loose grate with conduit wire. Lysa sealed it behind. Vines wove tight. Bioadhesive strong. Alien trick. Merc chatter leaked through vents. Juno's relay burned. Grid flipping. Evan gripped his wrench. Lysa met his eyes. You shield. No questions. Jobs in front. He nodded. Footsteps neared. Heavier. Disciplined. Light pierced the grate. Rifles swept. Valcrest gleamed on armor. Royal escort! Grail barked from the hall. Clear. Evan stepped out. Lysa followed, seal proud on her Nekobi's vines. Growls and forces formed up. Stunners trained outward. Impressive trace, human. Packets gold. Juno's cooked. Evan shrugged. Numb shoulder throbbed. Logs don't lie. Shuttle bay loomed. Grail keyed evac. Queen inbound. Det noted, but console pinged. Juno's override lingered. Fresh bulletin. All units. Air priority. Lethal hold. Evan snatched it. He's doubling down. Grail snarled. Shuttle now. They boarded. Axel seats locked. Lysa, beside Evan. Vine steady on his arm. Docks released. Station receded. Bays flickering under audit seals. Evan scanned the feed. Shadow trailed. A drone. Juno's last ping. Stealth hull. Locked on. Hold tight. He keyed the cutter. Sparks flew as he sliced the first panel. Lysa gripped harder. Vines glowed bright. More hunters. Evan eyed the drone's SIG. Multitool hummed. 1 fix left. Drone accelerated. Missiles hot. Shuttle lurched. Evasive roll. Grail barked from the fore. Trace it. Evan patched into nav. Pulled station logs again. Blind thrust vector. Juno's mark. Private drone. He fired a jammer burst. Drone wobbled. Lysa leaned in. Your tools. Cut deeper. Evan nodded. Cross-wired the cutter to shuttle's point defense. Laser lanced out. Drone, shredded, debris brooming silent in vacuum. Quiet, settled. Lysa exhaled. You turned his alert, paper to blade. Evan stowed the tool. Breaks happen. Patch 'em. Comms lit. Queen Saren's voice. Crisp. Cade. Grail confirmed Juno's files redlined. My throne holds, thanks to your logs. Evan glanced at Lysa. Her vines pulsed content. Girl's safe. Job done. Not yet. Grail patched through. Audit hit. Pay dirt. Conspirators named. Juno's backers off-world. Fleet vectoring. Shuttle hummed steady. Stars wheeled. Evan spotted a new blip. Relay drone. Faint a sig. Juno's ghost net. He keyed the scanner. Lysa watched. Trust etched in her glow. N'Kobe bond sealed tight. Evan cut the next panel. Sparks anew. Galaxy's fractures waited, one at a time. But the Queen's channel opened wider. Human, name your boon. Evan paused. Lysa squeezed his arm. Scrap pay. Station creds. Saren laughed. Rare crack in Monarch steel. More, Alliance seal. Your ingenuity shifts our wars. Dock approached. Royal cruiser. Val banners sharp. Grail saluted as they clamped. Conspiracy cracked wide. Welcome aboard. Evan stood. Lysa at his side. Enforcers parted respectful. Aliens stared. Human wrench hand who mapped blind spots traced lies. Juno's last bulletin died on scan. Audit drone swarmed his bays. Polished director fled corridors. Aides scattering. Evan boarded the cruiser. Lysa matched his stride. You breathed. Steady. Fixed us. One leak next. Multi-tool pocketed. More shadows loomed on long range. Chase echoed. Queen waited in throne bay. Calculating eyes assessed. Daughter. Lysa bowed. Vines synced to royal hue. Saren turned to Evan. Salvage tech. You shielded my blood with station ink. Evan nodded. No bow. Logs were open. Traced him. She extended a seal pad. Sign. Protectorate bond. Humans. Unpredicted. Lysa beamed. Grail clapped his shoulder. You're normal? Our legend. Evan signed. Practical stroke. Cruiser jumped. Warp hum rose. Juno's network frayed behind. But a ping whispered on his tool. Off-world relay. Deeper plot stirred. Conspirators rallied. Evan gripped the wrench. Lysa met his gaze. Ready. Sparks would fly again. Hull plates groaned under the Queen's cruiser clamp. Evan braced against the sealed bay bulkhead. Multi-tool in one fist. Lysa tucked behind him. Her vines quivered against his back. Fear scent sharp in the recycled air. Lockdown breached. Station AI droned. Val's sovereign vessel demands priority dock. All bays stand down. Evan thumbed his comm. Copy that. Bay 17 sealed tight. No traffic. Lysa whispered. Mother. He nodded once. Kept his body square to the hatch. Practical fix. Hold position till pickup. Footsteps echoed outside. Boots, not station clunks. Heavy, disciplined. Royal Marshal pattern. Hatch cycled with override hiss. Marshal Tavan Grail strode in. Rifle, low, but ready. Two enforcers flanked him. Vines rigid green. Alert hue. Grail's eyes locked on Evan, then flicked to Lysa. Salvage tech, Grail said, voice like polished alloy. You pinged loyalty. Prove it. Evan didn't flinch. Stepped forward, kept Lisa shadowed. Proof first. Your move. Grail's jaw tightened. He raised a gauntlet scanner. Loyalty trap. Active. Scan yields Juno ties. You're burned. Step aside, human. Girl comes with us. Trap bait. Evan smirked inside. Station hands saw that play daily. He pulled his pad, flicked the relay log. Juno's encrypted bursts glowed. Off-world cords, bribe trails to rival houses. Burned? Read this. Director's ghost net. Hired your rivals to snatch her. Destabilize the queen. Grail snatched the pad. Scanned. Vines shifted yellow surprise. Enforcers' rifles twitched up. Authentic, Grail muttered. How to wrench monkey trace it? Evan shrugged. Logs don't lie. Followed the pings like coolant leaks. Lysa peeked out. He fixed my shroud. Hid me from hunters. Grail nodded sharp. Stand down, team. Rifles dipped. Evan stayed planted. Lysa's hand gripped his sleeve. Trust sealed in that grip. Cross-species quiet. Then, breach klaxon screamed. Bator buckled inward. Plasma torches chewed metal. Sparks flew like angry stars. Juno's muscle, Evan barked. Shoved Lysa behind a crate stack. Down, Grail spun, rifle up. Form wedge. Protect the air. Hired guns punched through. 6 mercs in void black armor. Stun batons crackling. Needlers primed. No station badges. Juno's deniables. Target secured. Lead merc growled. Vines black with chem dye. Rogue clan. Evan rolled left. Multi-tool sparking arc to jam the nearest baton. Zap crackle. Merc jerked back. Grail fired. Stunner bolt dropped 1. Enforcers advanced. Vines pulsing battle red. Mercs fanned out. Needles whined. Trank darts peppered crates. 1 grazed Evan's shoulder. Sting burned, but he shook it off. Human baseline. Pushed through. Flank 'em! Evan yelled. Grabbed Lisa's arm. Dragged her to a service conduit. Tunnel run! Go! She hesitated. You? He boosted her in. Fixing leaks. Move! Grail covered. Bolts flying. Human relay more logs. Jam their comms. Evan patched his tool to bayonet. Flooded merfreaks with Juno's own ghosts. Fake orders. Abort. Queen inbound. Lead merc faltered. Command glitch? Chaos split them. Enforcers pressed. 1 merc lunged at Evan. Baton. Swing. Evan ducked, drove elbow into visor crack. Human leverage. Dense bone. No quit. Merc crumpled. Liza called from conduit. Evan! Clear, he glanced. Grail pinned. Rifle jammed. 2 mercs closed on Lysa's hide. No choice. Evan charged. Tackled the pair. Fists flew. His knuckles split scales. 1 merc's needler spun free. Evan kicked it into vent. Grail broke free. Stunned the last. Bay fell quiet. Smoke curled. Bodies slumped. Evan panted. Wiped blood. Lysa crawled out. Vines wrapping his wrist heel, touch instinctive. Grail holstered. You fight like a hive drone. No fear. Practical, Evan said. Protect what's in front. Queen's voice boomed over comm station wide. Saren Val claims this berth. Lock down voids for sovereign right. Yield or face blockade. Cruiser thrusters thrummed outside. Clamp finalized. Grail tapped his gauntlet. My queen. Air secure. Conspiracy proof. in hand. "Bring them," Saren replied, still calm. Human included. Hatch to main dock irised open. Enforcers parted. Aliens gawked. Station crew frozen. But Evan's tool pinged. Private channel. Juno's relay final burst before audit swarm. "Plot deepens," it whispered. "Off-world rally. Deeper fangs." Evan pocketed the tool. Lysa matched his stride. Grail clapped his shoulder. Rare warmth. Queen waited in throne bay ahead. Calculating eyes. Evan gripped his wrench. Sparks incoming. Dock seals hissed. They stepped through. Station shuttered again. Not clamp. Explosion ripple from core bays. Juno's failsafe. Sabotage bloom. Grail world. Ambush vector. Evan pulled Lysa close. "Warp now. Fix later." Cruiser hatch swallowed them. Vol banners snapped taut. Inside, corridors gleamed vine-woven. Servitors bowed low. Lysa beamed up at him. Trust forged in fire. Queen Saren rose from throne dais. Tall, vines imperial blue. Eyes pierced Evan. "Daughter safe. Speak, protector." Lysa bowed. He traced lies blind. "Shielded me." Evan handed the pad. Juno's net. Relays to rivals. Girl was bait, throne shake. Saren scanned. Laughter cracked. Rare. Like fracturing crystal. Human scrap rat. Unmasks empires. Name your boon. Scrap pay. Station creds. Evan kept it simple. More. Saren extended seal pad. Alliance mark. Your kind unseen edge. He signed. Tactical stroke. Lysa squeezed his arm. Grail saluted. "Your normal rewrites our guard manuals." Cruiser hummed. Warp charge built. Jump imminent. But Evan's tool pinged again. Off-world shadow. Conspirators regrouped. Deeper web. He gripped the wrench. Tighter. Lysa met his eyes. Ready. Shadows loomed on long-range scopes. Chase renewed. Evan scanned the relay ghost. Chords plotted. Rival fleet muster. "Queen," he said. "Leaks not plugged." Bigger pipe burst. Saren's vines sharpened. "Pot your fix, human." We jump. Warp engaged. Stars streaked. Station receded. Juno's empire cracked. But echoes hunted. Evan patched into cruiser net. Traced the ping. Lysa watched. Vines synced to his calm. One leak at a time. Human steady. Merc holdout scrambled in bay behind. Final Merc rose. Com live. Target boarded. Initiate phase 2. Explosion bloomed on rear scopes. Station core breach. Evan cursed low. "They're blowing it." Saren leaned forward. "Your station was..." He rerouted cruiser drones. Salvage protocol. Pull. Survivors. Grail stared. "After them?" Evan nodded. "Fix what's broke." Aliens exchanged looks. Human compassion. Alien calculus bent. Drones launched. Rescue amid pursuit. Lysa leaned in. "You save all." Practical. His hand covered hers. Bomb sealed. Warp tunnel stabilized. Shadows closed. Next fix waited. Evan slammed the fire suppression panel. Thick fog erupted across the docking bay, choking the air with white chemical haze. Blaster bolts sliced through blindly. He grabbed Lysa's arm, vines trembling under his grip, and yanked her behind a cargo crate stack. "Stay low," he growled. His free hand drew the stun baton from his belt. Practical tool. Multi-use. Lysa huddled close, her seal pad clutched like a shield, shaking. Coat draped over her shoulders. His coat, oversized on her slender frame. Vines curled tight against her skin, bioluminescent tips dimmed in fear. Footsteps pounded. Murk voices barked through the fog. "Target's here. Juno wants her alive." Heaven peaked. 3 shadows advanced, scanners sweeping. Hired muscle. Station security badges faked, sloppy welds on the edges. He knew the signs. Salvage tech's eye. He triggered the crate's emergency lock. Metal groaned, sealing them in. Tight space. Forced proximity. Her breath hitched against his chest. "Quiet," he whispered. Baton hummed live. A Merc kicked a panel nearby. Fog's thick. "Flush 'em out." Evan tensed. One leak at a time. He scanned his wrist tool. Bay schematics lit up. Vent above. Reroute power. Drop a grate on them. Lysa squeezed his arm. Trust in her eyes. Vines relaxed a fraction. He patched in. Sparks flew from the ceiling. Grate slammed down, pinning a Merc's leg. Screams echoed. "Go!" Evan hauled her toward the far bulkhead. Fog swirled. Blaster whined, grazed his shoulder. Burned, ignored it. They slid into a service alcove. Safe for now, Lysa panted. "You fix everything. Job's not done." He checked scopes. More incoming. Juno's goons. Station director playing politics with guns. Alarms blared station-wide. Relay pinged his tool evidence packet. From earlier hack. Juno's comms logs. Bribes to Mercs. Plot to snatch the girl. Spark a crisis on her homeworld. Evan forwarded it to security channels. Broadcast wide. Lysa leaned into him. Vines brushed his hand. Warm. Alive. Cross-species bond forming in the crush. Shouts outside. "Marshal Grail! Stand down!" Boots marched. Precise rhythm. Royal Guard cadence. Evan risked a look. Grail stormed the bay, armored detail fanning out. Vines rigid on his neck, salute blade drawn. "Director Juno, you're under arrest for treason against the Vol Crown." Juno stepped from command perch, polished suit unruffled. Smile too smooth. "Marshal, overreach. This is station authority." Grail held up a seal pad. Evans' relay evidence projected holographic, huge. Logs scrolled. Payments to hunters. Orders to destabilize Queen Seren's throne. Your relay ghosts end here. Broadcast live to all decks. Screens flickered. Station-wide feed. Gasps rippled through comms. Juno's face paled. Mercs dropped weapons. Hired muscle scattered. Grail snapped cuffs on Juno. Crown justice awaits. Evan exhaled. One fix patched. He glanced at Lysa. Still shaking. Coat clutched tight. Bay doors hissed wide. A figure strode in. Tall, regal. Vines like living armor sharpened to blades. Crown diadem gleamed. Queen Seren Val. Guards potted. Grail bowed low. Seren's eyes locked on the alcove. Piercing. Calculating. Evan stepped out, Lysa behind him. Protective stance automatic. Seren halted. Vines softened. She knelt, queen to child. "Lysa Val, my daughter." Lysa gasped, burst from cover, ran to her, vines entwined, tears alien dew on cheeks. Evan froze. Royal, the runaway girl. He'd shielded a princess. Touched her. His coat around Vol blood. Realization hit what he just touched. Galactic fire. Saren rose. Arm around Lysa. Gaze shifted to Evan. Human, you guarded my heir. He shrugged. Practical. Anyone would. Grail eyed him. Respect in the stare. Your fog trap saved her. Relay evidence. Cracked the nest. Station crew gathered at bay edges. Whispers. Human did that. Saved the princess. Saren's vines sharpened, then eased. Name your boon. Station hand. Evan pulled his coat from Lysa's shoulders. Draped it back, gentle fabric warm from her. Just doing the job. He turned, walked towards salvage bays. Before thanks could bind him. Wait! Saren called. He didn't. Boots echoed steady. Royals handled royals. His fix was done. But his tool ping. Relay ghost lingered. Off-world shadow. Conspirators regrouped. Evan gripped his wrench. Depot web. Grail. Caught his arm at the hatch. Queen's cruiser preps. Shadows muster. Rival fleet. Join us. Evan glanced back. Lysa watched. Vines reaching. Bond tugged. Practical, he said. Leaks bigger. They boarded. Cruiser hummed. Warp charge built. Saren sealed the pad alliance. Mark stamped. Your kind, unseen edge. Lysa squeezed his arm. Grail saluted. Your normal rewrites our guard manuals. Jump imminent. But Evan's tool pinged again. Cords plotted rival fleet. Queen, he said. Leaks not plugged. Bigger pipe burst. Saren's vine sharpened. Plot your fix, human. We jump. Warp engaged. Star streaked. Station receded. Core breach blooming behind. Juno's empire cracked. Evan cursed low. They're blowing it. Saren leaned forward. Your station was. He rerouted drones. Salvage protocol. Pull survivors. Growl stared. After them, Evan nodded. Fix what's broke. Aliens exchanged looks. Human compassion bent their calculus. Drones launched. Rescue amid pursuit. Lysa leaned in. You save all. Practical. His hand covered hers. Bond sealed. Warp tunnel. Stabilized. Shadows closed on scopes. Merc holdout scrambled. Final transmission. Target boarded. Initiate phase 2. Explosion rocked rear sensors. Evan patched cruiser net. Traced the ping. One leak at a time. Human steady. Lysa synced vines to his calm. Ready. Next fix waited. Rival fleet loomed. Queen's throne hung. Evan plotted intercepts. Collaboration now. Human grit. Alien steel. Blaster signatures spiked ahead. Ambush vector. Arm bays, Grail barked. Evan jury-rigged turrets. Quick welds. Fire on my mark. Saren nodded approval. Daughter safe. Pride traded for this human's edge. Warp spat them into void battle. Fighters swarmed. Evan marked weak points. Drones recalled. Repurposed as decoys. Shields buckled. Lysa gripped his seat. Trust absolute. He vented plasma fog, trick redux. Enemy sensors blinded. Grail whooped. Again. Cannons roared. Hits landed. Rivals scattered. Evan scanned debris. Survivor pods. Alien markings. More pulls. Drones dove. Queen watched. Your mercy strategic. Practical. Pulled them aboard. Interrogations next. Fleet remnants fled. Web frayed. But carping returned. Deeper source. Homeworld relay. Saren's eyes narrowed. Conspiracy roots there. Plot course. Evan synced nave. Lysa smiled. Vines bright. Interspecies friendship forged in fire. Chase renewed. Human protected. Galaxy shifted.